Hello and welcome one and all. I am Akiri, played by Joshua McGee. For those of you who tune into our live stream, you know we can carry on for a little longer than what is scheduled. But for this edited portion of our story, we try to keep our episodes in more comfortable, digestible lengths of time. So please enjoy Episode 9 Extended, Josiah's Great Quarrel. We're back. We all emptied our bladders and filled our tummies.
I'm still currently doing it. I mean, emptying my bladder. I'm pissing at the desk.
I thought we were all doing that.
That's what I thought.
That's
too.
what this bottle's.
Why'd your piss that color? Go to the
saying.
doctor.
Look, James gets it. Yeah. Reggie's down. Josiah's crying.
Mm-hmm.
I one punched him.
Idris definitely feels like they teed it up, and then Zedong just smacked it out of the park.
You were
me.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that there's twice in that battle that Reggie was left with 1 HP.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought it was. I was like,
literally
no
one.
way.
It was literally one. The first time I was like,
I don't see the line.
The first time I was like, damn, I didn't use lay on hands yet, and then it went down to 1. I was like, oh, I didn't use lays on hands yet.
I was so mad. If I would have just used that stupid vengeance point,
if you
would
did
have been done.
If you did 1 more damage, yeah, that would have ended super soon. The monk closest to you, Drub, is a half elf. I said an half elf because of vowels. And half elf kind of looks over at Idris with sad eyes. We did everything we could to help you. I hope it was sufficient.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I understood all of that. You did good. Pat.
He takes a seat at the nearest pew. Josiah, you see him sit down, and he lowers his head down between his knees. He just lost his mentor, like someone that was a father figure to him. And he kind of just sits there sadly.
I imagine by now Josiah's gotten himself up, and as the emotions are kind of like flowing in, like in between, he's kind of leveled out to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
He'll step over here, and I think I'm not sure how tall these little pews are, but like leaning over just a little bit, like maybe he can maybe it's like chest height, so he kind of like leans over it a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna.
If you've never been in a church, they're relatable to bus stop benches.
Look, every church got different deals,
Okay,
you know.
Yeah.
I've had some weird pews before, man.
This is similar to a government standard issue bus stop size pew.
Awesome. So he'll stand over there.
If that's not enough, you guys need to do research on chairs.
I can't wait to do my chair research later for my character.
That's how the government cuts costs, right? They have the bus stops and the pews be the same model.
Yeah.
They're all the same. I think as he steps over here, he's going to look at Idris and at this clergy member. I think he's going to first look at Idris and thank you, stranger. I don't think that we would have made it through this without you. If you don't mind, I'd like to catch up in just a minute, but I need to ask a few questions of these priests.
The sad man in the chair looks up to meet your gaze. His eyes are red from crying. They just look red and wet. You can tell this is a sad person.
Mm-hmm.
As he meets your gaze, he says, "How can you tell? It is over. It feels it's only begun."
You know, in more ways than one, you are correct. It's not entirely over, but it's over for now, and you have to know when the battle's lost and when the battle's won. You might be correct. I don't think the war is over, but for certain, this battle is done.
Spoken like a man from the military. He takes a deep breath, adjusts his posture. Not ready to stand, but he's ready to take in his surroundings.
Can you explain a little bit of the ritual that you just performed on me first before your paladin went AWOL?
When I was in Gonimia, they taught us of an ancient evil. Nobody suspected it would ever come back. But we, as standard practice, we all trained in ways of suppressing the ancient magic. None of us truly anticipated it would return. We have little to no practice of targeting this energy. Reginald was at this monastery before I was assigned to come this way. When I came here, he showed us and taught us everything we needed for life here. I can't believe he is gone.
Well, I'm gonna be frank with you here. I'm having a bit of a hard time holding my temper at the moment. And sometimes people die. It's very unfortunate. Your friend was gone the moment he changed. And the sooner you accept that, the better you'll be off.
He stands up. He gets in your face with anger. The two other ones behind him put a hand on each shoulder. He raises his finger ready to point in your face and yell. As the other two, lay their hands on him, he takes a deep breath. I need to be alone. And he marches out. He leaves.
Yeah, I think Josiah lets them leave, and he's gonna look at the other two.
Nice. Go
To
ahead.
be quite honest with you two, if you don't control him, he's going to do something quite stupid here soon. I've seen it once, I've seen it twice, and I'll see it again, but I'd rather not see it happen here. Now, who is in charge of this monastery?
The next clergyman closest to you is a Triton, and he looks to you and says, well, Reginald was in charge. We'll have to contact Gonimia to decide who is next to lead this outpost. I'm going to take a quick pause on that conversation. As the half-elf person is leaving, they're kind of stopping, they're kind of tunnel vision. They get to Zanog and the Putrid and slow down and look at Zernog looks at Orc Necromancer with he looks at you with concern and confusion in a way that he's trying to offend you, if that makes sense. His facial expression is just like...
I'm not even, like...
Okay.
You would walk up on Zanog, like, he's on his knees, he's, like, gripping the edge of the flip table, like, head held low, and, like, if he's at all perceptive, like, I looks like I'm kind of taking a nap, but I'm white-knuckling the fuck out of this thing, like, I'm with rage. Just white-knuckling the edge of this thing, like, almost to make the wrist tremble.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like...
Excellent.
If that gets anything from him.
Okay. He just shoots you a look in the face of this severe disappointment and resentment of what you are, who you are. He knows you're a necromancer, and there's nothing he can do about it. So he looks at you, and as he passes between you and the Putrid leaving, you just hear this, and he's gone. He steps out. He goes somewhere else. And Josiah, we can hop back to that conversation. The next person of leadership is not determined at this time.
I understand this is a rather monastic order, but order is in your name. You don't have a second in command here that we can speak to?
We are only a...
Do you have any level of... Do you personally have any level of authority?
Each of us here have a certain level of authority, where much of us are viewed as equals. Even Reginald was... amongst our ranks an equal, only he was the one taking the orders from Gonimia and then delegating to us. We're all equals.
I think you're gonna see Josiah kind of like take a deep breath.
This is not the military. The military funded this outpost, but other than that, it is a monastic order, as you said.
It's very clear this is not the military. There would be a level of order that is not here, if I'm frank with you.
Yes.
I'm going to take a different approach with you.
The three goddesses did not take a hierarchy amongst themselves. Why should we?
He's going to roll his eyes real deep because he's heard this kind of like argument before.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know a goblin named Reese?
Yeah, Reese was here for some time. He spent a couple of years here with us.
Well, I just want to give you a heads up. He's out in the wilderness, wandering around with a dwarf. You might want to go find him. And Josiah's gonna kind of turn on his on his heel start making his way back towards Zanog. Maybe make eye contact with Idris and give him kind of like a we can talk over here, or if like when Idris is ready, kind of like nod, you know. I'm gonna start making, but Josiah's gonna start making his way very abruptly over here with that.
Okay.
Idris would be holding their arrows in their hand and breaking the arrows as they walk over to the clergy. And okay, so you don't have any leaders. Who is your next highest healers? I have some questions.
As I told the halfling, we have all similar powers here. We all have similar roles.
I want to stop you right there. Most skilled healers.
It pains me to say this, but our next most powerful healer just left the room.
It's good to know. Well, that was very helpful. I bid you farewell.
Be well.
Walking back to the other two, just pointing behind Idris and being like, "You're morons." Hey, hello, fellow travelers. What's your names?
Josiah's going to put his little hand out for a handshake. Josiah Great Barrel.
Name's Idris. And at this point, Idris is probably a little warm and stuffy, so they're going to take off their hood, and you just see no hair, bald, already the no eyebrows.
Bald.
And Orc, what is your name, so I stop calling you Orc?
The putrid's gonna go. Just kind of bubble next to you. Zanog is in this moment. He's gonna kind of slowly rise up, like you guys would like also notice again, like he's white knuckling, shaking the thing, and he's just gonna ignore all that, and he's gonna be like,
This was not an act of God. Somewhere out there is a necromancer. I've given half my life to this craft. I've believed that I was forging the path. But someone out there is making something stronger.
and you can see he's like very just visibly like shaken by the fact that like what he thought was his like calling is now suddenly just rug pulled out from underneath him, like I'm just some jackass, you know what I mean? So like he's struggling to deal with that in this current moment. He's struggling to deal with all of that. And he's gonna kind of like scratch, like pull through his like the tuft of his front of his hair here. He's gonna be like,
I don't even know where to go from here.
I think Josiah might cut in and go, "This is Nog."
I was about to say,
he does this
that was a
quite
long name.
often. Josiah's gonna laugh way harder than he should. I can't control this. What's happening? Oh, that's a long name. It's like a halfling laugh. Like it's a really like belly, like this is your like hobbits from the Shire kind of laugh. And he's gonna wipe a tear from his eyes. Just, yes, this is this is Zanog Idris. He's our resident necromancer, if you can't tell.
Yeah, I saw it firsthand and got some on my boots.
It is.
Got a little
Don't
bit of
worry,
this guy.
don't worry, it'll wash off.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very good at getting putrid things off my boots.
Idris, you can't help but notice the exact point of the putrid that is your blood.
Can I have it back, or is it like
No, it's
fingers
part of the.
keepers?
It's kind of part of the thing now.
That's fine. It's
Don't-
okay.
Don't touch him. You will be poisoned.
Oh, I was about to pet him. He's just so cute. This little pile of putrid gunk.
Zanog, can we put him away?
It'll last an hour.
Can we
That's all he's
send
got.
him?
That's all he's got.
Can we send him away? Are you attached to the putrid?
Oh, of course not.
Can we send him away? It's disgusting.
if there's a bucket nearby, I'll put him in the bucket.
There's no bucket. There's a small,
he's
like,
out.
hand washing station here.
Well, on that note, I think that we need to find somewhere to rest. I think he's gonna scratch the back of his neck a little bit and
I agree.
get a little get a little upset with himself and just, I may have blown it here. We might have to camp outside of the monastery.
And then we're gonna have a nice, hefty talk.
Yeah, yes we will, Zanog. Yes we will. Idris, you're welcome to join us.
I mean, you're less stuffy than these monks. I wouldn't mind less safety in numbers. And right now, they don't seem very tough.
You know, I can't do this right now. And Josiah's gonna start walking off a little bit, laughing most of the way.
Oh, by the gods. It gets more questionable every day.
Then I'm gonna
Idris will just
follow
look
him.
at Putrid. Idris will look at Putrid as it moves and just walk beside Putrid and be like, "Is this like a known condition for the little one?"
Are you asking of yourself?
No,
No, I'm just talking to Putrid.
Yeah, and he'll just bubble back at you.
Yeah.
Your putrid noises are on point.
I've been practicing, dude.
I'll keep that in mind, little disgusting thing. That's so wise.
The clergy will see you guys out. We have a few bunks if you wish to rest. I know I need my rest after this encounter.
Dear God, yes.
Come with me. You guys pass through a bunk with the half-elf clergyman who is laying on their bed facing the wall. There's a trapdoor on the bottom, the southeast. He just motions you to that. This will be your barracks for the night. There's wardrobes, a bathroom, beds. It's just a big shared bedroom, essentially. So you guys get led underground. Please rest as long as you will, and breakfast will be ready as you are. You guys head underground to your fresh new bunk. There's no other people there at the time.
Josiah will. Would you like me to go first or you, Zanog? You seem like you have a.
You absolutely need to go first.
I'll take that. That's very fair. You did carry me a good 200 to 300 miles. That's very fair. So, when we first met at the Griffin Spring, it's very safe to say that there was some half-truths spoken about my...
Oh, you don't say.
Again, fair. Just let me get through. There's some half-truths spoken about what the Griffin Spring is. The Griffin Spring itself is very much a front to fund let's call it a private militia. Over the last about 15 years, I've worked with Rosalind and two others, Lieutenant Brigham, and a doctor named Talltail, to build a small but growing army to take back Edifos for the people. Everything else is true. It is still an inn. It is still a tavern. It is still also a front for the black market. That was never a lie. Rosalind, I met her through the black market. As a master sergeant in the military, there were some times when my company would undergo covert operations and we would work with her, and that's how I met her. But the point is, we've built a militia, and we have a base, and we are planning to take back Edifos. Now, I can get into a little deeper knowledge if you want to know more, but I will tell you this right now. If I tell you more, you're a part of this. That's as far as I'm willing to go without knowing that you're... I plan to tell you guys soon that this was happening. But time and illness have expedited my telling.
Well, you know I'm no fan of the Edifosian government myself. I too am branded like you.
And I will show off my necromancer's brand for my time spent in prison.
Yeah, I think Josiah will scratch at his chest. He's not as, he's proud of it, but he's not as proud of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mixture of feelings for him because of the circumstances behind why he was branded. So I think that at that point, he's going to kind of chew on that response for a second and then just nod and, well, Idris, I don't want to bring you into something that you're not getting anything out of. You just met us. We have some funds, and if you're willing to do some work, we can pay you. If you're I don't know if you're above mercenary work by any means, but I'm not going to go any farther without knowing that got you on my payroll, essentially.
Idris's position would have perked up at the taking back of Ediphos. That's a very interesting proposition. I would not turn down such a lucky offer. I have no brand, but I too do not care for the current Ediphos system.
If you don't mind me asking, were you also a part of the system, if I can go that far?
I was left at a facility of other young tykes, and it was drab and boring.
Yeah, it's not a good situation to grow up in. There are some things we're fighting for as a militia. So I guess I should formally introduce myself then as General Josiah Greatbarrel. I, alongside Rosalind, the owner of the Griffin Spring in Ediphos, Lieutenant Brigham, he is a lieutenant in the current Ediphosian military, and a doctor named Talltail. He's a rat folk from overseas who's found a home here in Vimuros. We run this militia as close to a well-oiled machine as we can, and we've gotten our hands on a few artillery machines, as well as something that will shake up the city. We don't plan to kill any innocents, though. There's a firm line in this. We're not overthrowing the city because we hate the citizens. We're overthrowing the city because it needs a new ruling. And he kind of gets a little like tense at this. There's no reason anyone should be taken from their family ever again. That's our fight. I can promise you this. He's gonna look at Zanog. I have no qualms with necromancy. When Ediphos is taken back, necromancy won't be outlawed anymore. In fact, if you stick around, I have some ideas to further your studies. Idris, I don't know you very well, or at all, really. But if coin is what you want, Ediphos' coffers are very deep, and we can supply you with plenty of coin. If not, we can talk more about over a contract situation. Ultimately, we will still need to succeed in taking back Ediphos for this all to work. And unfortunately, some of the plans we were hoping for have fallen through. Primarily, we don't have Barry anymore, who was a muscle powerhouse, if you will, and we don't have Reese anymore to heal us. So I don't think we're as ready as we once were. And with Aurelia gone, we need to get stronger, is what I'm trying to say. I have some words I need to pen and send off to Rosalind, but we need more time, essentially, now. And that's it. That's everything.
Can I Arcana check Idris's being at this point, like the
Yep, Arcana check.
the
Definitely.
snakiness?
I would while doing that, I would agree that rules must change. We can work together, and maybe you can come to one of my terries and get help eventually. But I'm more than happy to help you out. Seems our paths are aligned for a moment.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Alex, with your Arcana check,
It's a 21 on the Arcana check.
you understand his transformation's not natural, and it was caused by external forces. You are not able to, which comes naturally to you, is identifying the school of magic.
Right.
That is lost. It is as a different outside source of a different plane, perhaps.
Okay. Zog would, at this point, would be like,
You didn't always start out as a serpent, did you? If that is what you are.
was a time before, but it's hard to remember. I was something, yes.
More powers it be.
Is there any kind of because he's mentioned Terry's now, which to Josiah he would know that's an Outlander.
Yeah,
thing.
yes.
Is there any kind of role that I can make to kind of like hearing more of this, that like he was something before? Is there anything I can make role wise?
Give me a history check.
I mean, I have a +0 to history and rolled a 17, so.
You understand the outposts are truly creations of chaotic aligned people and communities. Any type of family or gathering of people that purposely seek out a location outside of the 6 cities of Edifos takes a certain type of drive that's outside the norm. Wherever he's from is so far outside the law that they purposely go out of it. It's difficult to survive in the Outlands. A lot of things need to be prepared. A lot of people need to be on the same page to form a Terry and keep it alive. Terrys go at war all the time for resources with their own small armies and stuff. And to understand that he comes from a Terry is you understand that that's a whole different world than you're used to.
It's a
can of
different
worms.
mentality.
Yeah.
Or can of snakes, I should say.
Snakes. Like those toys.
I thought that was prenup brittle.
Wait. Pre-nut brittle?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that with that, I think that I think Josiah will even go a step further. And Idris, if I can extend an offer, I can offer you an exorbitant amount of coin once this job is done. If we take Edifos, to be quite frank with you, it is my intentions to take that seat and relay the groundwork for that government. So the coffers are open once we have that. However, I think I have another idea. For a long time, Outlanders have not been allowed in the city but for 10 days a year. How open would your people be to a sort of understanding that exponentially those days would grow? We obviously can't just take that rule away entirely. There's too many people too much trade that abides by that 10-day rule. But we can double it, and double it, and double it yearly going forward once Edifos is taken. Eventually hitting the point where they can come in and out whenever they please. Is that something your people would be open to?
I think they'd love it.
So I think what Josiah is trying to do here is trying to broker some sort of alliance to get more people. You know what I mean? He's looking for ways to get more into the militia, more behind his cause. You know? So he thinks that if we can take Edifos back, then he can lay this in and start bringing those people in. Because at that point, he's more concerned about the freedom of all the people and giving everyone the best chance he can, you know? And then I think he'll look at Zanog after, and Zanog, we've known for a while you're not from Edifos. It's just where you were locked up. Do you have any family or any sort of allies from your past that we could call on?
I'm not too quite sure about that one. When I was arrested, my citizenship was taken away, but upon getting out, I was granted another one because both my parents have perished since then. So, I have no brothers, I have no siblings, I have no sisters. My father was quite an important person amongst the village. We could always go back and check, but I'm doubtful. My name is as good as mud over there.
Well, I did say we need more time. I don't have many contacts outside of this part of Vimuros, but I have done my time in Thamvira, I've done my time in Xylia. I had way too much time in Argos. And I think that Josiah goes into a kind of fit of laughter to himself, though, before cutting it off and quickly going back to being stern. I think Xylia. I think Xylia would be a great option for us.
Take a gander at the old world tree.
Our very own Alex Gonzalez is in a band called Stone Mary. Check them out. They're on Spotify, and I believe are you guys on iTunes as
They're
well?
on everything. They're
Awesome.
on everything.
They're on everything. So I mean, if there's any cops and feds watching, cocaine, meth, acid, it's everywhere. Just making sure it's out there. Yeah, so go ahead and check them out. Stone Mary. They've got some other good hits in their catalog there. I believe it is Edge of Letting Go. Is that the AP name?
Yeah, that's the new EP. Yep.
Nice.
Awesome. So go check out Edge of Letting Go. It's really good. Really good. I'm not really sure what to call it other than just punk rock. Like, it feels like a punk rock album through and through. Yeah, go check it out, guys.
This is Josh McGee, your DM and story weaver. I would like to thank everyone for sharing this podcast with your friends and family and letting them know all of the many platforms we're on, such as Spotify and Stitcher and Apple Podcast and more. Everybody here at Ampersandbox is happy to see all of you that are joining our live streams over on Twitch. And those of you who are goofing off with us in our Discord server, we like to hang out and play a couple different games and share memes amongst ourselves, talk about these shows. You know, we're not just producing a show for you, we're creating a space for like-minded people to enjoy each other's company. Ampersandbox is an always growing community.